ganja wars now evolves into a hustle to get into the lawful business. Let me now be, rather than looking to fight a war over supply and turf, let me now get into production and sale, register, pay my taxes, etc. So the violence dramatically at that end decreases. The counter reality that happens is that because of the amount of cash that you deal in the business through these licit, lawful retail outlets, men start to mob and rob them. But that is a police enforcement reality. So you handle that. There is no perfect solution to it. But the fact of the matter is, it will answer to deep questions that arise. Where you hold someone for 0.8 grams of possession of the herb, and for 0.8 grams, if found guilty in the magistrate court, this person ends up now with a criminal record. A person who was previously free of any criminal record, who lived by the straight and narrow, ends up now with a criminal record, and that person's life now changes immediately, because that record never leaves you. You go for a certificate of good character to get a job, that comes up. Then you have the instance where you are arresting people for simple possession, and you are placing them in the remand yard among hardened criminals in the University of Crime in Trinidad and Tobago. So you're taking people who are charged with simple possession and exposing them to the conditions of the remand yard that impacts that person psychologically, physically, immediately and fully. You don't know what that person evolves to in there and what that person comes out of when found guilty and the time is served and they're back on the street. They now have criminal record, they're a jailbird, they have been exposed to the University of Crime. So for issue of simple possession, you're now faced with a person now who, by his or her actions, enter a part in life that ultimately impacts the society negatively.
Figuiera says it is without a doubt that the people who benefit most from prohibition are those behind the ganja production trade. So in essence, a system which seeks to stop the sale and distribution of marijuana ends up doing the exact opposite. It promotes it and gives it life, while the average person who uses the drug for medical, spiritual, or recreational uses ends up suffering the most.
And what we have in the trade in the Caribbean is that you have organizations that control the trade from production to the point of sale, maximizing profits along the value chain. It's a business. And the business model is what you will go to any top class business school and learn. So you have to maximize profits along the value chain, so from production to the retail point of sale, and you have to maximize profit by controlling the supply to the market to create monopoly or oligopoly. So you raise the price and you get rid of competition.
By whatever means necessary.
And that is why it resorts to violence, because those who are excluded resort to violence. Because in the drug business, you don't go to court and file an injunction. You pick up your Beretta and look for somebody. So in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, where you have a significant proportion of the supply entering our ganja markets they imported. It is imported supply from other production points in the CARICOM region. So that means the groups that control those production points have a stranglehold on the market. Because remember, the easiest PR 7 o'clock nightly news coverage you could get is to just go and chop down a ganja field. Because that's the easiest thing to find. That is the easiest thing to find.
But it does very little.
No, it does, because what has happened, in fact, in the 1990s, we had a series of weed eaters that were unleashed in Trinidad with US help. And that changed so dramatically the supply side of the market that we now became dependent upon imported supply. Because no matter how much weed you whack and burn and eat, the demand side is not going to change. So you start now importing the product, and that changed the market entirely. Because you see, what it is a discourse of the old war on drugs. And this discourse works on the listeners. And this discourse does not talk about the business side of the illicit enterprise and how you are in business to get rich. You're not in business because you're born evil and you're bad seed and you like to kill and you're violent. You to get rich. And every opportunity you give, they will use it to get rich. And one of the biggest opportunities you give them is to give them an entire menu of all the illicit products. So that is the question. Do you have the will? So will we continue to condemn non-violent people who are not involved in any illicit drug trade, they're not trafficking, they're not everything? For simple possession, you brand them with a criminal record and you change their life for the worse. That is an issue that the politicians, that is their duty and their job to handle. The question is how would the population approach it?
How do you think they would approach it?
Well, you'll have those who will jump up and say, no way, none at all. And then you'll have those who will rant and rave about it. Some of them will rant and rave while taking a drink. And then you have those who will say yes. But the question is the commitment. The commitment. What we have seen in Trinidad and Tobago is that the politicians throughout the Caribbean are risk averse to paying the price for handling this issue because they fear a backlash at the polling station. So we have had the Jamaican example where the Jamaicans moved via legislation, which was then subsequently amended. And it is now law in Jamaica, but the regulations governing the measures in the act, to put those measures in the act in place and concrete on the ground, the rate at which it is moving in Jamaica is now less than pedestrian, it's turtle. And people continue to be arrested and fined. So we continue to see the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown, has also indicated that he is pro decriminalization. There was the backlash from that. The present government in Barbados shouts loud from the pulpit, no way, not here. In other CARICOM member states, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. So that's the challenge of Trinidad and Tobago, because remember, there's an entire discourse that has been circulated, especially from the United States, that continues to insist on the harm it does to the human. Triggers schizophrenia, etc., etc. But those same people who continues to insist, and they have those in Trinidad who mimic that discourse, those same people who push that discourse, they don't believe in the concept of harm reduction.
Explain.
A harm reduction position would be your major issue with any form of addiction is to look upon it as a public health issue. Look at it as a public health issue, and look at it that the intervention must be to reduce the harm